Hello, hopefully everybody's having a wonderful weekend. My name is Mr. G. I am your weather forecaster for this channel, and thank you for joining me on this wonderful Saturday. We're looking at very nice, cool weather conditions with temperatures in the low 60s right now. So a very nice, cool day out there across the Twin Cities in the state of Minnesota. So we've been looking at very cool and dry conditions. So after a fairly warm weather for the month of October so far, we have seen some days where we've reached highs in the lower 80s, some days in the 70s, but we're going to see a few days here in the 60s. Might even see a 50 or two pop in a day or two this week as well. So a lot cooler weather moving across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes area. So we're going to see that cooler weather. And if you're in the Northeast, you're probably beginning to experience some of that cooler weather right now as it is. Lower humidities and temperatures about 10 to 15, maybe even 20 degrees in some locales, cooler than average. So much cooler fall conditions moving in across the northern tier of the country. But if you're in the Southwest, it's still pretty hot out there with those temperatures in Arizona and California, the eastern deserts out near Palm Springs, Indio, and Indian Wells, and those areas. We're seeing temperatures in the low 100s. So we're still seeing those very warm temperatures across the Southwest and into parts of southern Texas as well, southwestern Texas toward El Paso, temperatures in the 90s. We're seeing those temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s across New Mexico, so Albuquerque to Santa Fe, down to Deming and southern New Mexico. We're seeing those temperatures in the lower 90s, so it's still pretty warm out west. And along the Gulf of Mexico, we're still seeing fairly warm temperatures in the 80s and the humidity as well. We're not looking at a whole lot of precipitation. Some areas will see some severe thunderstorms. We will see some isolated severe thunderstorms down across parts of Appalachia as we go through the next few days here. And we're going to take a look at our map so you can see what to expect in areas where we can see some dry weather over the next coming days. Now Florida is in cleanup mode after they are cleaning up after Hurricane Milton has passed. So things are pretty quiet right now in the Atlantic or down across the tropics. We are watching a few areas that has the potential for something that will bring up our next tropical system that's going to come across the Atlantic towards the Caribbean and the eastern U.S. over time. But we're keeping an eye on things right now. Nothing is imminent. So let's move on to our first map and take a look at the wonderful weather over the eastern parts of the United States. Let's move our stand with the microphone here. So hopefully the microphone is working well today. And as you can see on this map, very comfortable conditions for your Saturday out there. So it's going to be warm and dry across the upper Midwest. So Wisconsin, Minnesota, warm and dry. Few spotty showers here down across southern Michigan, northwestern Ohio, northern Indiana. A few showers here today across parts of the southern portions of Lake Michigan over towards Lake Erie. Might see a few showers, but for the most part across New England, dry and comfortable. Very nice day today across New England and very sunny as well. But we do have low pressure here across eastern Canada, and that's going to spark a few showers across northeastern Maine, maybe extreme northern Vermont and New Hampshire, down across St. Lawrence River Valley here between Quebec and Ontario. We could see maybe a few showers across those regions from Lake Ontario and Lake Erie as we move through the weekend here. So that's for your Saturday. Here is the big contrast. You got the cool and rainy weather to the north here. So the Vermont, New Hampshire, parts of Maine, eastern Canada, near Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, is going to be cool and a little bit wet. So light precipitation, cool and breezy. And we're going to see to the south here, warm and breezy. So we're going to see that a west wind here because of this area of low pressure, and the air circulates like this around that low pressure center. So we're going to see a warm breeze and a little bit of moisture coming from the south to the east. So we're going to see a southwesterly pattern here. So we'll see a little bit of warmer air, but it's going to be warm and a little bit breezy as well because of high pressure over the Atlantic interacting with this low pressure here. So that pressure gradient is going to be for breezy conditions across the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic and the Ohio Valley as well. So we got to talk about some thunderstorms. So we do have the potentials for thunderstorms here. As you can see, here is Delaware. We are looking at Vermont. Not Vermont. So we have Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, West Virginia. So West Virginia, we are seeing areas that could see some severe thunderstorms, and the primary threat is going to be damaging winds and heavy rainfall. We're not worrying about tornadoes today, but we will see the potential for some severe thunderstorms this evening here across parts of. There is a slight risk for severe thunderstorms here across portions of West Virginia and southwestern Pennsylvania, West Virginia, maybe northern Kentucky as well, and southwestern Ohio. There's a potential for some severe thunderstorms today. And this is our overall pattern this weekend and early next week and early into the week to come. We see our big high amplitude ridge over the western United States and into the upper plains, but we do see a nice big trough in the east, and that's going to be bringing cooler weather and damp weather as well. We will see a couple of chances for some fall showers here across the Twin Cities by Friday. We may see some showers tomorrow evening here across the Twin Cities. Might bring a few showers, but no severe weather, no thunderstorms, but some showers might be possible from time to time throughout the course of this week, particularly tomorrow evening, and again on Friday and Friday evening we could see some showers and cooler weather as well. We're going to see those temperatures in the 60s from Wisconsin into Minnesota, north to South Dakota, down through Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan as well. We could be seeing a little bit of damp conditions, pretty fall-like, October-like weather we're going to be seeing as this big trough settles across the east, and that trough will drop down to the southeast, so maybe central Georgia and across South Carolina and the far southern end of North Carolina before heading offshore. And that's going to be our jet stream energy, and we're going to see that high pressure bring that warmth from the deserts and the Rockies. So that high amplitude ridge will build into southern Canada. It will cross the border into Canada, bring dry weather across Montana, Idaho, and the Pacific Northwest will make for an onshore flow. So that could bring some morning clouds and fog across the Pacific Northwest. Seattle down to Portland could bring cool mornings but nice mild afternoons. So fairly tranquil weather out west. Down to the south, still warm and humid. We will see showers along the coast, along south, the Florida Peninsula. Dry weather across the Panhandle, dry across Louisiana, dry in Texas, But look how hot it is in Texas. Hot in Texas, southern Texas, into the desert southwest, and the Sonora Desert of Mexico will be very hot as well. So a very a benign weather pattern for the most part, even though we have sort of a blocking motion with that high amplitude ridge and a deep trough in the west, and in the east, a deep trough in the east, and with cooler, wetter weather and high amplitude ridge out west, with dry, warm weather across the northern Rockies into the desert southwest to the west coast, with, as opposed to that ridge that drops down across north South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, through Arkansas to Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, North Georgia to South Carolina, and then it goes off the coast. So that's the course that our jet stream is taking to bring that that chance for showers and thunderstorms across parts of the eastern areas of the Ohio Valley this weekend into the Appalachian mountain ranges into West Virginia. Could see some showers and thunderstorms across that region this weekend as well. And then here is another look of some November-like weather that we're going to see on Monday as that low pressure center makes its way toward the northeast near Maine and eastern Canada. So that's going to bring some rain showers to Maine on Monday through Vermont, New Hampshire, upstate New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. We're going to see showers. And we're going to see those showers across the border into Ontario. So Toronto, Montreal, and Quebec City, we're going to see showers on Monday. Might even see a few snow showers as well in the higher elevations. But we'll see showers and rain, and a rain and snow mix through parts of the higher elevations. We could see a mix of rain and snow on Monday. So a little bit of November, a late fall feel here across the northeast. There's going to be gusty winds coming from the northwest. So we're going to see northwesterly winds gusting across Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, across Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, and from the northwest, gusty winds and cooler, much cooler air. So it's going to feel brisk out there, kind of chilly and a bit damp. So get ready for a little bit of some fall, late fall weather. That's going to be quite the change as we have a frontal system that's going to be approaching the eastern shoreline as we get into Monday. That cold front is going to sweep through, and that cold front is going to bring those showers and thunderstorms through parts of Appalachia and the Ohio Valley Saturday into Sunday. But on Monday, that front will exit the East Coast. And then, as we talk about the cold that's going to settle in behind that front on Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning is going to be quite cool in the east following the passage of that cold front. So cold front passes, colder high pressure will settle in. So places like Detroit, Buffalo, Boston, down to New York, Washington, maybe Columbus, Ohio, Pittsburgh, Philly, Charleston, West Virginia, Louisville, Kentucky, Indianapolis, Chicago, Des Moines, Minneapolis will see things quite colder than normal as you head into your morning on Tuesday. And we're going to feel temperatures feel like it's 25 to 30 degrees. And in some areas, it's going to feel like it's between 15 and 25 degrees. The northern half of Michigan, Quebec, as well as the northern half of upstate New York, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and Maine is going to feel like it's between 15 to 25 degrees. It will be, but the actual air temperature will be in the 30s, maybe 40s, but it's going to feel like 15 to 25 because of that stiff breeze from the northwest. So the northwesterly winds will usher cold air out of Canada, so it's going to feel below freezing out there, even though it's probably not below freezing. But temperatures in the 30s is above freezing, but it's going to feel like it's below freezing. But if you go further south here to Virginia, Kentucky, you're going to see those temperatures. Southern Indiana, southern Illinois, southern down to Missouri, we're going to see things feel like it's 30 to 40 degrees. So it's going to feel a nice chill in the air as you go to work in the morning on Tuesday and the kiddos go to school on Tuesday. We'll have a nice chill in the air, so it's going to feel rather cool out there. So a bit of change for a while across the northeastern quarter of the country as we head into the next upcoming work week. And here in Minnesota, we have educational conferences called, I forgot what they call them. It's MEA, the Minnesota Educators Association. My wife's a teacher. She has parent-teacher conferences this week, as well as some trainings at the district or whatever they're doing, the district level training. So there are some days she doesn't have class, like Thursday and Friday, and even the universities here cancels classes during the MEA so that the staff at the universities and colleges can take on some professional development training during this time as well. So oftentimes classes are canceled in the grade schools and colleges in the third week of the second or third week, whatever it is, here in October across the state of Minnesota as we get ready for MEA week. And here is the heat across the Southwest. Daily record highs will be challenged this weekend through Sunday. So through tomorrow, we will continue to see those triple-digit heat temperatures here. Eastern deserts of California, the California Central Valley, and the Arizona deserts, and the southern deserts of Nevada as well. We'll see those temperatures exceed 100 degrees, and that hot will continue through Thursday across the desert Southwest in the Four Corners area. It will be continue hot, but very comfortable to the north there in Montana and Idaho, eastern Washington, eastern Oregon will be warm but still comfortable. So down across the tropics in the Atlantic Ocean, we are looking at dates out here. This is from the 17th through the 19th, and then this area through 16th through the 19th. This area here has a high probability of something developing here. We have a gyre right here that's creating a little bit of a spin. There's a northwest flow coming from Mexico and Texas, an offshore northwest flow, and then a southeasterly flow coming from the Caribbean. So that flow, that air pack current and from the east, and then airflow from the west will create a span in this region here. So there's the potential, the greatest risk for something to develop in this region, but we'll have to see, because it could be a lot of wind shear because we have that current coming from the east as well as a flow from the northwest, and that's going to create a span in the atmosphere over this region right here. So we have the greatest potential to see development in that region, and this here is going to be transporting a tropical wave across the southern towards the Antilles into Hispaniola. So Puerto Rico and areas right here, we're going to be watching for a slight chance for something, a very low probability for something to develop here, but it's not very organized. It'll need the energy over here. So maybe as this activity moves further to the west, and it meets up with that flow from the north, then that potential to create a spin in the atmosphere might become more likely. And again, here's that another look at that stuff down across the southern Gulf of Mexico and the southern Caribbean Sea. So we have that influx of moisture. Then we have that could take a northern path, and we can see the area that can see potentially see where we could see an impact here across the East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Western Florida Panhandle. Is unlikely but possible that if something develops here, it could end up here, or it can end up here again. So we can see it take a path that Helene took. So we'll be watching for the development in the tropics as well, and we'll see what develops down across the Caribbean Sea, the southern Caribbean Sea. And here is our Atlantic storm name so far. We have made it to Kirk. We saw Leslie. Kirk and Leslie mostly remained out at sea. We had Milton hit the state of Florida. Isaac, we saw Isaac. So our next storm will be Nadine. Our next named storm that comes out of the Atlantic will be named Nadine. So we'll be keeping an eye out for Nadine. So far this summer, we've had 13 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 hurricanes were category 3 or greater. So we had 4 major hurricanes. We know we got hit by Helene, and the U.S. was hit by Milton. So at least 2 of these major hurricanes that I can remember affected the United States. So our historical average is 12 storms by October 11th, and we typically see 6 hurricanes by October 15th, and then by October 28th, we've had an average 3 major hurricanes. And that'll do it for today's weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Mr. G, and thank you for checking us out today on today's video. And I will be back again with another video tomorrow afternoon. Bye-bye. And have a great day and a great Saturday evening. Have a good time out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.